Number 1, your patient is ordered cimetidine 0.8 grams POTID. Each tablet contains 0.4 grams. How many tablets would the patient receive per dose? How many tablets would the patient receive per day? On the top left-hand corner of your page, go ahead and write down what you're looking for. So for the first part of the question, we are looking for tablets per dose. And the second part of the question is we're looking for tablets per day. And go ahead and box those so that you remember what units we're looking for. There are multiple ways to answer this question. You can do it by units, you can do it by cross multiplication, you can do it by the equation that is given in your medication calculation book, D over H times V. The way that I'm going to teach medication calculation is I like to stick with the units just so that I know how all of the numbers are related. Later on in your nursing school career, you're going to have harder questions, such as having 3 units. For example, milligrams per kilograms per day. And you realize that the units are going to play an important role, and keeping track of those units will make it a lot easier to figure out how and when to manipulate the numbers, either through multiplication or division. These questions may seem a little bit easier to use this form of figuring out the problems. However, if you set a good habit starting sophomore 1, then you'll be able to easily figure out the harder questions that are coming in senior 1 and senior 2. So let's go ahead and tackle this question. The 3 things that I always put on my paper are order, available, and the frequency. So your order is 0.8 grams per dose. Your frequency is TID, and you'll start to learn the medical abbreviations, 3 doses per day. Each tablet contains 0.4 grams per 1 tablet. So the way that we're going to figure out question 1 is we want to know the equation order times available, keeping in mind your units. So as you can see, when we multiply order times available, we can automatically see we can cancel out the grams, and we just need to make sure that we have tablet in the numerator, dose in the denominator. So let's go ahead and set that up. We have 0.8 grams over dose, which is what we want, dose in the denominator. And in order to cancel out the gram units, we have to have grams on the bottom, tablets on the top. Don't forget to fill in your numbers. And the answer is 2 tablets per dose. For the second part of the question, we're looking for tablets per day. So I like to just rewrite this so that you can see it. And we're looking for tablets on the numerator, but we also want dose day in the denominator. So we're going to go ahead and write 3 doses per day. And the answer is 6 tablets per day, because your doses will cancel out. In the shaded box, you're just going to go ahead and write 2 tablets per dose and 6 tablets per day as your final answer. Number 2, The patient is to receive metoprolol tartrate 0.05 grams PO daily. The drug is supplied in tablets containing 50 milligrams. How many tablets would the patient receive per day? So we're only looking for one answer, and the units that we're looking for are tablets per day. Go ahead and box that in the top left-hand corner. Always write down these three things: the order, the availability, and the frequency. The order is 0.05 grams per dose. The frequency is 1 dose per 1 day. The tablet is available as 50 milligrams per 1 tablet. As you can see, we have the units of grams, dose, milligrams, and tablet. However, we're looking for tablets per day. We do have tablets, we do have day in the frequency. However, we cannot cancel grams with milligrams just yet, which means we need to know this conversion to convert milligrams into grams. And the conversion that must be memorized is 1,000 milligrams per 1 gram. So we're going to go ahead and write our available med as 50 milligrams per 1 tablet. You want to go ahead and cancel the milligram units, which means you'll have grams on the top. Fill in your numbers. You get 0.05 grams per tablet. Now we can go ahead and cancel the grams here with the grams from the order. So writing down our equation, order times available, 0.05 grams per dose. Available, you want gram units to cancel, which means you're going to have tablet in the numerator. Don't forget to fill in your numbers, and you get 1 tablet per dose. However, that's not the final answer because we're looking for tablets per day. So we're going to go ahead and multiply that by the frequency. You want to cancel dose units and have tablets in the numerator, day in the denominator, and you get 1 tablet per day. Final answer in the shaded box, 1 tablet per 1 day. Number 3, the client should receive theophylline elixir 120 milligrams PO BID. The medication is available as theophylline elixir 80 milligrams per 15 mLs. How many mLs of medication should the client receive per dose? How many mLs of medication should the client receive per day? So this is a 2-part question. The first part, they're looking for mLs per dose. The second part of the question, they're looking for mLs per day. Go ahead and box that so we remember the units that we're looking for, and always write down these 3 things: the order, the availability, and the frequency. The order is for 120 milligrams per dose. Your frequency BID means 2 doses per day, and your availability is 80 milligrams per ml. As you can see, we can go ahead and do our order times available because we want milliliters in the numerator, dose in the denominator, and our milligrams will cancel out. So let's go ahead and set up that equation. Order times available, 120 milligrams per dose, and you want the milligram units to cancel, which leaves mLs in the numerator. Fill in your numbers. 15, and 80. And you get 22.5 milliliters per dose. So we found the first part of the answer to the question. However, we're still looking for the second half, which is milliliters per day. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down, 22.5 milliliters per dose. They give us our frequency, which is 2 doses per day. You want dose in the numerator, day in the denominator, so the doses will cancel. Fill in your numbers, and you're left with 45 mLs per day. So you have a 2-part answer, 22.5 mLs per dose, and you have 45 mLs per day. The order is for thioridazine, 150 milligrams POBID. The medication is available as thioridazine, 30 milligrams per ml. How many teaspoons should the nurse instruct the client to take per dose? How many teaspoons should the nurse instruct the client to take per day? So we're looking at 2-part question. The first part is teaspoons per dose. Second half of the question is teaspoons per day. Go ahead and box that so you remember what units you're looking for. As always, we put the order, the availability, and the frequency. The order is 150 milligrams per dose. Frequency is 2 doses per day. Our availability is 30 milligrams per ml. However, we're looking for teaspoons per dose, and we don't see teaspoons anywhere in the units, which means we have to memorize this conversion. In 1 teaspoon, there are 5 mLs. So let's go ahead and approach this question with order times available. And we have 150 milligrams per dose. You want milligram units to cancel. So milligram in the denominator, ml in the numerator. Fill in your numbers. And go ahead and include the conversion. So it'll be mLs in the denominator, so ml units will cancel. Teaspoons in the numerator. Fill in your numbers. So we get 150 divided by 150 is 1 teaspoon per dose. However, we're looking, that's an answer for the first part of the question. The second part of the question, we're looking for teaspoons per day. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it so you can see it. And our frequency, we want doses on the top. So the dose units cancel, and we're left with 2 teaspoons per day. So final answer for the first one is 1 teaspoon per dose, 2 teaspoons per day. Final answer for number 4. Number 5, the client should receive Docustate sodium 100 milligrams POBID. The medication is supplied as 1 gram per 10 mLs. How many mLs of medication would the patient receive per dose, and how many mLs of medication would the patient receive per day? So 2-part question again. The first part, we're looking for mLs per dose. Second part, we're looking for mLs per day. Go ahead and box that so you don't forget the units. Always writing down our order, what's available, and your frequency. The order is 100 milligrams per dose. Your frequency is BID, or 2 doses per day. Your availability is 1 gram per 10 mLs. So as you can see, we have mLs per dose, which is what we want. However, we can't cancel out our milligrams to our grams. So remembering our other conversion from before, there are 1,000 milligrams per 1 gram. And you want to convert the grams into milligrams. So the first part, you can do it this way: first order times available. So you have 100 milligrams per dose, which you want dose in the denominator. We want to cancel out the milligrams. So we're going to have 1,000 milligrams over 1 gram. And we want to go ahead and cancel out our grams. So you're going to have mLs in the numerator, grams in the denominator. So as you can see, our milligram units cancel, our gram units cancel, and we're left with mLs per dose. So 100 times 10 is 1,000, divided by 1,000 is 1 ml per dose for the first part of the question. The second half is going to be 1 ml per dose. There are 2 doses per day, so make sure your dose units cancel. Days on the bottom, fill in your numbers, and you get 2 mLs per day. In the shaded box, the first part is 1 ml per dose. Second part is 2 mLs per day. 6, a patient weighs 126 pounds. How much does this patient weigh in kilograms? And so the units that we want are in kilograms. So let's go ahead and write this down. So that's the units that we want to end up with. And the patient weighs, so this one we don't have to do order, available, and frequency because it's not a medication. So the main conversion that we need to know for this is that there are 2.2 pounds in 1 kilogram. So you always want to start with what the patient weighs, 126 pounds. And you want to end up with kilograms in the numerator, and you want pounds unit to cancel. So 126 divided by 2.2 is 57 kilograms. Final answer, 57 kilograms. Number 7, the client is to receive allopurinol 0.25 grams PO daily. Each scored tablet contains 100 milligrams. How many tablets would the patient receive per day? So as you can see in this question, it's very similar to our other questions. However, they mention what is called a scored tablet. A scored tablet is a tablet that looks like this, and there's an indentation that looks like this, which means that you can use a pill cutter to appropriately cut the pill in half. So that means if our answer ends up with a half tablet, it is an appropriate answer. So let's go ahead and write down the units that we're looking for, which are tablets per day. Go ahead and box that. And you have your order, your availability, and your frequency. The order is 0.25 grams per dose. You have 1 dose per day, and the availability of the med is 100 milligrams per 1 tablet. And you see that our units, we have tablets, dose, gram, and milligrams, which means we want to go ahead and convert milligrams to grams. And the conversion that we're going to go over again is 1,000 milligrams per 1 gram. So we're going to do order times what's available. So you have 0.25 grams per dose. And the availability of the med. So before we want to have gram units cancel, milligrams in the numerator. Now you want the milligram units to cancel, and you're left with tablets in the numerator. So as you can see, gram units cancel, milligram units cancel, and we're left with tablets over dose. So we have, and don't forget to fill in your numbers. So you have 0.25 times 1,000, 250 divided by 100 is 2.5 tablets per dose. And looking at our frequency, it's 1 dose per 1 day, so it's 1/1. Making sure units look good. So we have 2.5 tablets per day as our final answer. And that makes sense because we have a scored tablet. Number 8, you receive a report on a patient who is being transferred to your unit from the emergency department. The nurse tells you that the patient weighs 250 kilograms. What is a patient's weight in pounds? So what we're looking for is our units in pounds. And we know that the conversion is 2.2 pounds per 1 kilogram. So start with what you have, 250 kilograms. You want the kilogram units to cancel so that you're left with pounds. Don't forget to fill in your numbers. 250 divided by 2.2 is 113 pounds. Final answer for number 8.